Have you ever wondered why we make the same mistakes and repeat the same old patterns even though we know that they won't help us? In this episode, I'm going to explain why we do that and provide you with the key to changing those patterns that aren't working for you so that you can finally implement new habits, thoughts, and behaviors that align with the version of yourself that you want to be, whoever that is. Hi, I'm Adriana Santos, and this is the Loving My Wild podcast, a show where we dive deep into the messy journey of self-discovery, self-worth, and living life unapologetically. From heartfelt conversations that make you feel seen and expert advice that lights up your path, together we'll embrace the chaos of life, laugh about our quirks, and journey towards self-love. This is Loving My Wild. Come on in. Hi everyone, and welcome to another episode of Loving My Wild, the podcast where we dive deep into the power of the subconscious mind to help you achieve your dreams. I'm your host, Adriana, and today we have an exciting topic to explore. Perhaps it might be one of my favorite topics, the fascinating world of hypnosis. And many people are confused by what hypnosis is and how it works, or they think that it's just some kind of like magic show, because it's often seen as something that you see done on stage, on cruise ships for entertainment. But honestly, that truly couldn't be further from the truth. So I'm here to share my knowledge with you and give you a detailed explanation on what hypnosis is, how it works, what it can do for you, and most importantly, how it can open up a world of possibility for you. So sit back, relax, and make sure you have enough room because we're going to do a little demonstration where you cluck like a chicken. I'm just kidding. I hope that this episode I can show you the exact opposite, that hypnosis is so much more powerful than just making people make fools out of themselves on a stage. All right, so let me start by telling you about how I unknowingly stumbled upon my first experience with hypnosis. And let me set the scene for you. Picture me sitting cross-legged on my living room floor, surrounded by candles, soft music in the background, and it's let's be honest, probably like a Saturday night, and I decided to try a new meditation practice that I found online, thinking it would help me relax, clear my mind, help ease my anxiety. And so I turn it on, and little did I know what I was about to discover. I had turned it on thinking it was going to be just like any old meditation, thinking about the trees and the wind and how do you feel the sun beating down on your skin, and just ignore thoughts and let them float by and don't attach to them. I've done so many different types of meditations before because I've been at this point, when I first tried hypnosis, which was, a few years ago. At that point, I had been meditating for like 2 or 3 years at that point. So I was kind of I don't know why I was thinking that this would be anything different. I was kind of going into it expecting the same thing, but I was pleasantly surprised when I closed my eyes and I followed the soothing voice and it guided me through this meditation, and I felt this profound sense of calm and focus, like so focused. It was like everything that I wanted to accomplish out of all of those other meditations where I genuinely didn't have thoughts cross my mind. Like that's what I always hoped for, but never got. This was different. This, I was finally getting to that point. It was like I had this super deep focus. I was in this deep state of relaxation, but like I was still fully aware of what my thoughts were, but there weren't really thoughts. But like I knew that I knew that I was there. Like I was just fully aware. And truthfully, the minutes melted away. And I think it was like a 20-minute one. I swear I opened my eyes and was like, that was 5 seconds. But when I opened my eyes, I felt truly, fully, like full body rejuvenated, full body relaxed, centered. And normally after meditations, I would feel like semi relaxed, like, okay, cool. I took some time to myself. I, like, didn't attach to my thoughts. I felt relaxed. I spent this time intentionally. I wasn't scrolling. Okay, I feel pretty good. But I swear, after this, I felt like full body, just like rejuvenated. I felt like I had woke up and it was like the morning again. When like you wake up and you're like ready for the day and you're like super motivated and focused and like you don't have like anything that happens throughout the day like affected you yet and you're just like, I could take on this day. I'm ready. Like I came out of this meditation feeling like that, and it wasn't the morning. So I was pretty shocked, honestly. I was like, whoa, what did I just listen to? And I think the biggest thing was that it was really purposeful. It was an inner child meditation, so it had me imagining my inner child. It had me speaking to her and, sharing feelings and all of this stuff. And it was really emotional. It was really exciting in a weird way. It was warm and inviting and sad and like just very healing. And I had an experience that with meditation. And I had been meditating for several years at that point. So I remember being like, whoa, that was powerful. What was that? And so fast forward to a few weeks later, and I stumbled upon this podcast episode from the same company or brand or whatever, who I did the meditation from. And the lady confirmed that that meditation that I had done was actually a form of hypnosis. And I remember stopping in my tracks, and I was a little like caught off guard because I was like, what? You hypnotized me without my permission? I didn't know. You didn't tell me this? And it's funny, like, looking back because, like, I was so confused. I remember being like, that's what hypnosis is? There's no way. Like, you didn't make me get out of my seat. I didn't bark like a dog. Like, I didn't do anything stupid. You didn't make me look like a fool. If anything, I was, like, more calm than I've ever been. And I felt like my mind was fully cleared. And, like, that's not what hypnosis is. So, like, I don't know what you're saying, but that's not what it is. And I was confused. I was definitely a little, like, taken aback. Like, how dare you? How dare you? I didn't know I wanted to be hypnotized. And it was a huge revelation for me because it opened up my eyes to this whole new world. And thank God I meditated first, because if I had done this recording knowing that it was hypnosis, I probably would have avoided it like the plague. I probably would have been like, that's weird. I don't know about that. What are you going to make me do? What am I getting myself into? I definitely had all of these preconceived like misconceptions of what hypnosis is. And thank God I tried it firsthand, because once I knew what it was, then I knew that I wanted more of it. And it was from that moment on, honestly, truly, I knew then and there that like I wanted to learn more about it because it was so powerful. And it's what led me to becoming certified as a hypnotherapist so that I could help other people experience those same results. I mean, not the results that I had in that one night, but I continue to work with the hypnosis recordings, and I continue to see these like wild shifts in my perception and my automatic thinking and all of these things. And I wanted to help people understand that. I wanted to tell people, like, it's not mind control. Like, let me teach you what it is. Let me help you. Let me, use this tool with you. Like, let's transform your life. So, um, just like me, so many people I've noticed have misconceptions about hypnosis. And really, it doesn't really surprise me because we've seen it portrayed in movies and TV shows, and it's typically seen as like this mysterious, like mind control thing, like this manipulation tool. And so, if that's really all we have to go off of course, we're not gonna fact check that, right? Like, we're just gonna assume that's what it is. But that's really frustrating to me because now that I know more about it, hypnosis is so much more than that. And it is so freaking powerful that it makes me mad that there's these misconceptions going around or these myths and people don't know. I'm like, no, you need to know, you need to know. And it's just such a powerful tool that taps into the potential of our minds, and it helps us access these inner resources that we have, and it helps us overcome challenges and make positive changes in our lives. And it really is such a shame that these misconceptions overshadow the incredible benefits that hypnosis is or has. Because hypnosis can help with so many things. So many. And I actually have a blog post on this. I think it's called 149 Powerful Ways You Can Use Hypnosis. I'm not sure if that's the exact title, but I'll link it in the show notes for you. And you'll see that there are so many uses. It's insane, from managing stress and anxiety to overcoming fears and phobias, or improving performance, or changing, automatic thought patterns. Hypnosis is truly such a versatile and effective tool that can help us unlock our full potential. And I want to scream it from the mountaintops because I'm so excited. I'm so excited. I'm stumbling over my words. So, if you've ever wondered about hypnosis, or if you've ever been curious to give it a try, or probably more likely, if you haven't even considered it and you're pretty skeptical about why this is even a topic of discussion, or you're like, I saw you mention hypnosis and this seems weird, then keep listening, because today we're going to dive deep into all of that. We're going to dive deep into what hypnosis is, how it works, and most importantly, what you want to know, how it can help you. So before we get into, the meat of the episode, I really want to encourage you to just let go of any preconceived notions, really embrace the possibilities of the things that I'm going to share, and just stay open-minded, stay curious, put any myths that you have heard or that you think are true, just put them aside, put them on the table over there. You can pick them up afterwards. But for the purposes of this episode, just try to stay curious, stay open-minded, and then if at the end of the episode you're still convinced that all hypnosis is making people do the chicken dance on stage, then, I did a terrible job at educating you. So I hope that's not the case, but let's get into it. So, hypnosis. Hypnosis is a word that is often surrounded by so much mystery, but also intrigue. I think it's really one of those words that it's like people don't know a lot about it, but it seems like this mysterious thing. So I think that intrigues people a lot, but because of the mystery, they're kind of like, I don't know about that. Like, it leaves people really unsure. And so let's talk about what exactly it is. And at its core, hypnosis is a state of focused attention and heightened suggestibility. So it's a state where the conscious mind takes a step back, and it allows the subconscious mind to become more receptive to positive suggestions and ideas. So, hypnosis is not a magic show, as some people think, but rather it's a very real and effective way to make lasting change in our lives. It's a tool that we can use to our benefit to make those changes in our lives. And so, hypnosis has been around for centuries, and it has evolved through the years. The use of it has evolved through the years. So let me just indulge you with a quick history lesson. And I know. Everyone's favorite subject in school was not history. But I think that it's important to just show some of the context to how hypnosis originated so that people can really stop thinking that it's a way of like puppeteering people. And the practice of hypnosis dates all the way back to like thousands and thousands of years ago. Like we're talking about the 1700s. And it was used in different forms by different cultures around the world. So it can be traced back to like ancient Egypt and ancient Greece, who they used these altered states of consciousness for healing and spiritual purposes. However, hypnosis as we know it today took shape in the late 18th century thanks to this guy, this modern scientist. He was like a renowned physician. His name was Franz Mesmer. And think about it, like mesmerizing. That's where we get the word mesmerizing from, this guy, Franz Mesmer. And this guy was the first person to pronounce the use of hypnosis for therapeutic purposes. Therapeutic purposes. And he developed this theory called animal magnetism, which stated that our bodies were composed of this like invisible magnetic force that we could use in order to heal it. And so basically he thought that we had this magnetic fluid that was moving through the channels of our body, and that blockages in the flow of this fluid caused emotional or physical disease. And what he was doing was taking a magnet or using a magnet and telling people, like, I'm going to use this magnet and it's going to flow this fluid to remove blockages and it'll heal you. And it was working. Not for everybody, but it was working. And he saw a lot of success with this, but it caused a lot of controversy in the medical community because they're like, what's the science? Like, what do you mean we have a fluid in our body? And so basically over time, people attributed the success of his work part to exaggeration and part to him having such confidence in his work and people buying into it just because of his confidence. So regardless, his work was so convincing that ultimately it led to curiosity. And because people were like, well, why is it working for some people? Like, it's actually helping people. What's going on there? And so this curiosity led other people to study it further. And then years come by, and then there's this other guy, James Braid, and he further refined the practice of hypnosis. And he's actually who coined the term hypnosis in 1843. And he described hypnosis as a state of intense concentration or focus that could be used to make positive changes in the mind and the body. And this is how we know hypnosis today. So James Braid kept studying hypnosis and he kept practicing his teachings, and then later on down the line, let's skip to the 1900s, we enter Sigmund Freud, as you probably know is the king of modern psychology. And Freud was actually using hypnosis with his own clients. And Freud was putting his clients in a trance-like state and replacing the negative ideas that cause destructive symptoms or cause his patients to like do certain things. And his patients were experiencing fresh ideas. And hint, hint, that's exactly what hypnotherapy and subconscious reprogramming is. So hypnosis was actually being used by Freud himself. But at the time, Freud was studying a variety of different techniques, and he was studying psychoanalysis, which, you know, essentially is a technique that targets the root of a problem and then uproots it. And basically, Freud had more of a desire to go down that path and continue studying his research down the psychoanalysis path. And because he had such a personal impact in shaping psychology as an academic field, hypnosis kind of like got thrown to the wayside. It didn't really appear in his studies because it wasn't related to what he was teaching. And then because he had such a, influence in academia, hypnosis then wasn't taught in universities. And then it's not taught in universities, so then it doesn't show up in modern psychology. So it wasn't until around like the late 20th century that hypnosis began to, gain more acceptance as a legitimate therapeutic tool, because there was the first large-scale scientific study about hypnosis that was performed at the University of Wisconsin. And so I swear the history lesson is almost over, so just hang in there with me. But it was around this time that a guy named Dan Ellman, who was truly the very first influential hypnotherapist, and he confirmed over 100 years of suspicion that hypnosis was a different state than normal sleep, and that it did have the possibility of changing and reducing the perception of pain and alter our mind. So that kind of takes us to now. And in recent years, hypnosis has become increasingly more popular, and it's been known to treat conditions like anxiety, depression, insomnia, fears and phobias, habits, addictions. And it's really considered to be an effective form of mind and body medicine. And it's used in a variety of settings. It's used in hospitals. It's used as anesthesia. Sometimes people will get hypnotized instead of getting put under, which is crazy. It's used in private practices. It's used by psychologists. It's used as its own modality. And it's been adopted by the general public as an effective way to make changes in their lives. And that concludes the history lesson. The history lesson is over. Thank you for bearing with me. It's just really important to know, the backgrounds. I think the background is helpful because it's not just something that popped up. And I think that it shows that it's not just for mind control. Like even the ancient Egyptians were using it for spiritual purposes. But, that gets left out when we're seeing it on stage at on a cruise ship, and we're seeing people on stage being made to sing. It's the education is important, and I'm just, trying to validate myself in the history lesson that I had to give you, but it is over. We will move on. I am sorry. So now let's look at exactly how hypnosis works. And then we'll get into, how you can use it for personal transformation, which is the good stuff. So when we think about hypnosis and how it works, essentially what happens when someone is in a hypnotic state is that their conscious mind takes a step back and it relaxes, and it allows the subconscious mind to become more receptive to positive suggestions. This means that through hypnosis, we can tap into the deeper levels of the mind, and we can reprogram it to form new beliefs. We can change behavior patterns. We can create positive habits. And the process of hypnosis, it involves two parties: the subject or the client, the person being hypnotized, and the hypnotist, the person who is leading the session. Pretty simple, right? So we have these two people, and generally speaking, a hypnotherapist will take you through a guided relaxation process, and they'll introduce you to a series of suggestions that will target the different areas that you want to focus on. So, for example, If your goal is to quit smoking, the hypnotherapist may suggest that cigarettes no longer appeal to you, that, whenever you have the urge to smoke, instead you drink water or you get the urge to walk outside. This is what I mean by the word suggestions. Those are suggestions, right? Instead of this, do this. Instead of having the urge to smoke, you'll have the urge to drink water. Those are positive suggestions that are focused on the changes that somebody wants. So the idea is that we quiet the conscious mind. The subconscious mind is forward, it's open, it's ready to be communicated with, and then we give the subconscious mind the information that we want it to have. And the idea is that over time, your subconscious mind will start to believe those suggestions due to neuroplasticity, and you'll begin to change your behavior in response. So the idea is that because the subconscious mind is so open and it is so receptive, those suggestions are going right into it. And they're sticking, they're rooting down in there, they're rooting down into the soil, they're being embedded in there, as opposed to having to go through the conscious mind, having to go to the critical mind, and then the subconscious. Subconscious mind is open, we tell it what we want, and then we seal it so that way, nothing else gets into it. And that's essentially what hypnosis is, and that's what we do in hypnosis sessions. In the hypnotic state, it's really just that. It's just a heightened state of suggestibility. It's just that your subconscious mind is just open to those suggestions. Your subconscious mind is receptive. And the important thing, though, is to note that you're always in control. And you can't be made to do something against your will. Because, in fact, the reason it works so well is only when you believe the changes or you want it so badly that you want to believe it. So if you're skeptical or you don't trust the person that you're working with, your mind will automatically reject the suggestions. So you are totally in control, and there's no way to brainwash somebody. At least in this way, I'm sure the government has their own ways and knows things that we don't know, but it's not this. So, how to access hypnosis? There are two main ways to access hypnosis. There is self-hypnosis, and then there's hypnotherapy with a certified hypnotherapist, like moi. Self-hypnosis involves inducing a state of relaxation and focus on your own. Pretty common sense, I suppose. Once you've been conditioned to the state of hypnosis, it can be achieved through, just deep breathing, through visualization. Hypnosis can be done on your own with the help of audio recordings, such as ones that I offer here on my website. I also offer audio recordings to my clients. However, it's technically not considered self-hypnosis because you're still using someone else's voice and their words to get you into that state. But so it's not considered self-hypnosis. Self-hypnosis is when you do it to yourself. Those audios involve listening and following a script that guides you into the state of deep relaxation and focus, and they allow you to access your subconscious mind. And so they work. Absolutely, wholeheartedly, they absolutely work. It's just not called self-hypnosis, and there's a lot of misconceptions about that. Like, a lot of people are saying, like, download this self-hypnosis audio recording where I guide you into this relaxation, and like, it's just, you're just being hypnotized by somebody through audio recording. It's not you hypnotizing yourself. So, a little bit of a ramble, but just wanted to clear that up in case that comes up and it causes any confusion. And then I do have some of those audio recordings on my website. So if you're like going through this and you're like, I'm kind of interested, what is this hypnosis thing she's talking about? I have a handful of audio recordings on my website. So if you want to check them out, I will link them into the show notes. And then to get back on track here, if you prefer a more personalized approach, working with a certified hypnotherapist is probably the preferred option because it's a trained professional. They can guide you through the process. They can tailor your sessions for your specific needs. They can help you achieve your desired outcomes. They can help you peel back the layers, look at the root causes, all of that. And it's personalized to you. And so it is an amazing option if you're wanting personalized one-on-one support. Just remember to choose somebody who is reputable and a certified hypnotherapist that can ensure a safe and effective experience for you. There are a lot of people out there who, take little courses and they claim that, they can hypnotize you, but, you want somebody who can be there for the therapeutic purpose of it. You want somebody who can be there to assess your blocks, who can take a look at the challenges you're having and assess why you're having those challenges so that way you can get a personalized approach. You don't want someone who could just hypnotize you. It's more to it than that. You want the therapeutic part of it so that way you can make changes that you want in your life. So just keep that in mind. And then we can finally get to the juicy stuff. And that is talking about the how and the why the hypnosis works. Because hopefully by now I have convinced you that hypnosis is a good tool to access your subconscious mind and that it's effective and safe and it's not mind control. And hopefully I have nailed all of that. But now it's like, okay, but why do I need that? How does hypnosis play into changing my life? Why do I care? Essentially, you're like, why do I care? And so let's get into that. So our subconscious mind contains deeply, deeply, deeply embedded patterns that are formed throughout our lives. So that is our subconscious mind. It holds these patterns. We pick them up from people. We pick them up from our parents. We pick them up from our teachers. I went into this in great detail in the last episode, which is called, hold on, let me look it up, How to Transform Your Life with Subconscious Reprogramming. So I will also link that into the show notes to make it easy for you to find. But if you want to understand fully the subconscious mind and why we care, that episode is a deep dive. So we have our subconscious mind, and it has all of these patterns that are automating our thoughts and behaviors. And then think of it as a layer. There's a layer above our subconscious mind, which is our critical mind. And our critical mind is responsible for filtering and analyzing information, and it sort of acts as like a protective layer for the subconscious so that not everything is being embedded into the subconscious. So this critical mind is really there to keep us safe and filter out what we need, what we don't need, and all of that. And then right above the critical mind is our conscious mind. And our conscious mind is where we have our logic, our reasoning, our analyzing, our decision making. That's the part of us that's, looking at the world and deciding wow, I really need to change this habit. That's not working for me anymore. I need to change this. So we have these three parts of the mind. We have the subconscious mind, we have the critical mind, and then on top of that, we have the conscious mind. And so hypnosis works by bypassing the conscious mind, by bypassing the critical mind, and then accessing our subconscious mind directly. And by accessing the subconscious mind directly, we can rewire those scripts that have been running in the background of our mind for years. It's kind of like upgrading the operating system of your mind to support your dreams and your desires and those new habits you want and your aspirations. And so hypnosis itself works by inducing a trance-like state, which allows you to access and reprogram your subconscious mind. And a trance-like state is just like an altering of your brain waves. So, you've probably heard of these, we operate in beta, and hypnosis is a way of getting your brain waves into theta or alpha. And so it's really not this magical or this supernatural or this mysterious thing. It's really just stimulating different parts of your mind by getting your brain waves on a certain frequency. And so that way we can, access the part of the mind that we want to serve a certain purpose. Essentially, like, that is what it is. And then the other cool thing, not just that we can rewire the scripts that are in there, the other cool thing is that also during this state, since your critical and your conscious mind is bypassed and it's quieted, you can also gain access to the powerful insights that would otherwise be blocked. So you can use the subconscious mind to give you information of, I'm not really sure why I have this habit. Like, what is this doing for me? What is it trying to teach me? What is it trying to communicate to me? What's going on? Like, I don't get it. You can also access the subconscious mind to get information from it, which is so cool. I mean, it's it's really so cool. I'm obsessed with it. And so as you work through, each session, you'll be guided by the certified hypnotherapist that you work with, who will help you identify what's going on. It'll help you identify the limiting beliefs that are coming forward. That person will help you replace those limiting beliefs with new empowering ones, using what we call suggestions. Suggestions is essentially the term that we use for the information that you want. The information that will help you get the changes that way you want. So the power of suggestion. Suggestion is really the crux of all of it. It's the most important part of the hypnosis process, because that's what helps you change what you want to change. Because you see, what is in our subconscious mind, our mind thinks it's true. Whether it's true or not, whether it's helpful or not, whether it's resourceful or not, our mind thinks it's true. It's in the subconscious mind. It's telling you, this is what we know. This is our operating system. This is what we know. And so it doesn't necessarily matter if it's actually objectively true or not, or if it's helpful or not. Your mind thinks it's true. And so that's why the suggestions are so powerful, because they are what is controlling us. They are what is allowing us to operate in our lives. It's what is what is coming automatically to us. So the power of suggestion is so powerful because that is what reshapes our beliefs. The suggestions are what replace those limiting beliefs with empowering one. I keep stumbling over my words today. Empowering ones that align with our goals and our desires. So in hypnotherapy sessions, the hypnotherapist will guide you through a series of exercises that are specially crafted to replace those suggestions or replace those limiting beliefs with positive suggestions, to make the changes that you want in your life. So let's say, for example, your goal is to be more confident in social situations. The hypnotherapist might suggest that you are capable of engaging confidently with others and that every situation is an opportunity for growth. And on a subconscious level, this suggestion then begins to be accepted because what's in the subconscious mind is a known and it's true and it's going to act on it. So over time, the new belief is reinforced through real life experiences because now you're a little bit more confident going to the event by yourself. So now it's reinforcing, wait, I just did that? I can do that. Okay, this confidence thing isn't so bad. So through real life experiences, it gets reinforced. And then over time, that neural pathway becomes second nature to you because it's grown strongest. And then the more you act on it, the more you reinforce it in real life, the more you put yourself in social situations, or the more you feel comfortable and confident in social situations, that becomes the strongest neural pathway. And then the old one dies out. And especially with reoccurring hypnosis sessions, you can continue to reinforce that with hypnosis, which is just like supercharged suggestions. And then it just easily and effortlessly becomes a known to you. So, as you learn to free yourself from the constraints of your old beliefs, you can start to take on new actions, and then you can begin to manifest new possibilities into your reality. And that's essentially how it works. And that's why it's so effective. And, there are so many modalities out there. There's just so many, and you can use any of them to make changes in your life. And I really do believe that every modality serves a purpose based on where you're at in your self-growth journey, where you're at in your healing journey. They all serve a purpose. But maybe I'm a little biased. I don't think so. I really do believe in this. I really do think that hypnosis is a lot more effective than some of the other, methods of psychological change. And this is kind of what I went into depth about in the last episode. But our actions, our behaviors, our thoughts, feelings, beliefs, everything we do and think is being controlled by our subconscious mind. So, if making changes in our life are hard, or there's a lot of resistance, you can almost bet that the story that's playing in your subconscious mind is not aligned with the changes that you want to make in the conscious world. So, if the issue is the subconscious mind, doesn't it make sense that it would be incredibly effective to just get right down to the subconscious mind to make those changes? And that's exactly what hypnotherapy does. It gets to the root of those behaviors, those thoughts, feelings that are in the subconscious mind, and then it changes them so that what is automated in your day-to-day life are thoughts, actions, beliefs that align with the things that you want, with the habits that you want that will take you to where you want to go, to who you want to be. And the subconscious mind doesn't distinguish between what's real and what's imagined. And this is an important thing to note. Like, your subconscious mind doesn't care. It doesn't care if something is real or it's imagined. And what I mean by that is that in hypnosis, we use a lot of techniques like creative visualization and mental rehearsal. And the subconscious mind believes all of those things. It doesn't know that, you're just thinking it in your mind. It thinks it's real. It thinks it's real, so it starts embedding it as if it were real. And then it starts working to make those visualizations a reality because it thinks it's real. It thinks that is what is actually happening. So, let me give you an example. If you wanted to, let's say, start a business, and let's say you came to me for hypnotherapy, and we use these techniques to mentally rehearse how your day would look in your business. You're in hypnosis and you're just playing out what your day would look like. Your subconscious mind thinks that's real. So your subconscious mind thinks that that is what your life looks like. And so it's going to do everything that it has to do in order to make that a reality, because that's what it thinks it's real. So if the outside world is different than what your subconscious mind thinks, it's going to fill that void. It's going to be like, okay, wait, no, we need to work towards this. What habits do I need to take to make this visualization come to life? What beliefs do I need to pick up? What people do I need to get aligned with? Your mind starts to move you towards those things, which is why this is so powerful. This is why I truly think that hypnotherapy is a really, 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 really important tool to use if you're wanting to make changes. Because in comparison, traditional therapy, it's often limited in their effectiveness because it only relies on the conscious mind, which can often be resistant to change because the story that's in your subconscious mind is different. So even if you're in talk therapy and you're trying to make changes in your life, you're still going to be resistant because of your subconscious mind. And I'm not dissing any other modalities because I truly do believe, and I said this before, I truly do believe that each one serves its purpose. And as a society, we need all of them because each person is at a different point in their life and a different point in their journey. And they may need different types of modalities to help them with where they're at. But I do think hypnotherapy fills a huge gap that I see where people have been in talk therapy for years and they're just like, I can't talk about my problems anymore. I know what my problem is. I know why this is happening, but why can't I seem to move past it? And that is what I think the hole is that hypnotherapy fills. A lot of times, clients have come to me where they had been in traditional therapy and they're just like, I want to feel differently about myself. And I want to feel differently about, changing my habits. I want to feel differently. I don't want to keep feeling this resistance. And often they have found what they were looking for when they transitioned into hypnotherapy or when they use it as a tool alongside traditional therapy, because you can do that too. So, last thing that I want to touch on is just to give you some, just information on some of the techniques that could be used in hypnosis. And there's so many that I like to use with my clients in session. So honestly, that could be a full episode within itself, but I'll give you two of my favorites. And these are two that I kind of touched on earlier in one of the examples I gave. And one of them is commonly known as creative visualization, and it uses the power of imagery, mental exercises, and creative thinking to visualize the things that you want to connect with, the things that you want to let go of, the part of yourself that you want to talk to. I mean, there's so many uses, and I love using imagery with my clients because metaphors play a significant role in the whole subconscious reprogramming process, because the subconscious mind communicates in symbols and in metaphors. So imagery is a huge way that we get to see what's affecting you and why, and then also process it and vent it out and release it so that way it's no longer a block for you. So I am a sucker for a good metaphor. I love a good metaphor. So imagery is like my favorite tool to use with my clients because it's so creative. It's so creative seeing what kind of images come to my clients when they're in hypnosis, and how fitting it always is with what they're going through and the lessons that they're needing to learn and to integrate into their life. So I love it. But another powerful technique that I like to use with my clients is mental rehearsal. And so by mentally practicing as if you've already achieved your goals, you can condition your minds for success. And this goes back to the example that I used earlier, that our subconscious mind doesn't know the difference between real and fantasy. So when we engage in mental rehearsal during hypnosis, your subconscious mind believes what it's seeing is real. And then it starts working like diligently to bring it into your life. And I don't just use mental rehearsal with my clients to see the end goal, right? Because sometimes the end goal is too far away from where they're currently at. We also use mental rehearsal to connect with each step forward that needs to be taken, so that by the time they take the next step, their mind already thinks that it's happened. So when they take that next step in the conscious world, it's easier, it's more natural, it flows through them easier without all of this resistance, because the subconscious mind is like, oh, we've already done this. Yeah, this has happened before. Okay, we could do this. So as we wrap up this exploration of hypnosis, I want to leave you with a little something. A little bit of extra information, that reprogramming our subconscious is not about changing who we are. It's about reclaiming the power of our minds and freeing ourselves from the constraints of any limiting beliefs that we may have picked up. It's about tapping into that potential that already lies within us, so that way we can break through the barriers and create a life that is truly fulfilling. Because the power already lives within us, so why wouldn't we want to use it? You know? That's what it's there for. We're going to use it. So if you've been, feeling stuck in your life, if you're like, oh my God, I keep hitting the same pattern and I don't know why it's coming up, what's happening. If you're looking for a way out, I highly encourage you to try hypnotherapy, because with the right guidance, it can be one of the most powerful tools for personal growth and transformation. And so before we go, I have a little special treat for you. I mentioned this earlier, but if you're interested in trying hypnosis and experiencing the magic of reprogramming your subconscious mind, head over to our show notes and I have a free audio recording for you. It's a hypnosis recording called Magnetic Desires, and it can be used to visualize what you're wanting. It can be used to visualize your desires, your dreams. It can be used to give yourself any emotion you're needing. Like if you're needing confidence, you can visualize receiving that confidence, what that might feel like. So it's really a powerful tool that could help you kickstart your journey towards creating the life that you've always dreamed of. So I hope you found this episode enlightening. I hope you found it empowering. I do apologize for the history lesson, but you made it through. And if you enjoyed this, if you found it empowering, if you found it helpful, please, please, please share it with a friend. Please rate, please review the podcast. It helps me out so much, and I would be eternally grateful. So thank you for being here with me, and always remember, you have the power to shape your reality, and you have the power to become the best version of yourself. So stay curious, stay open-minded, and embrace that incredible, powerful potential within you, because it's in there. It's already waiting for you to tap into it, and that's why you've been led to this episode, because that potential inside of you is ready to burst out. So good luck. Let me know if you have any questions, any confusion. If you want my help or any guidance, let me know. I am 100% here for you. So have a great day, and thank you for listening. And that's a wrap, my friends. Thank you so much for joining me on this messy journey of self-discovery. I hope you enjoyed today's episode as much as I enjoyed sharing it with you. Remember, you are worthy of all the love and all of the joy in the world. Life may throw challenges our way, but we have the power to navigate through them, learn from them, and come out stronger on the other side. Never forget that you are capable of amazing things, and I believe in you wholeheartedly. If you found value in today's episode, don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you never miss an opportunity to embark on this wild ride with us. And hey, if you're feeling extra generous, leave us a review. It makes my heart dance with joy and helps spread the word about the podcast. Got a burning question or topic you'd love to hear us dive into? Reach out to me on social media at Loving My Wild, or shoot me an email at adriana@lovingmywild.com. If you're craving more inspiration and connection, head over to our website at lovingmywild.com, where you'll find resources, show notes, and a community of fellow wild souls just waiting to cheer you on. And until our paths cross again, remember to embrace your quirks, find humor in life's absurdities, and most importantly, love yourself fearlessly. Stay wild, keep shining, and never forget how wildly capable you truly are. I'll see you next time. Bye!